It was just after sunset when Daniel, a single dad in a small Canadian town, was driving home with his groceries in the back seat. His daughter Lily, only 9 years old, was waiting at home for dinner, and he was already thinking about how to surprise her with her favorite pasta. But as he turned onto a quiet street, his headlights caught sight of something that made him slam the brakes. A girl, no older than 18, was stumbling along the sidewalk, her face bruised, her clothes torn, and her steps weak. She looked like she had just escaped something terrible. Daniel rolled down his window and called out gently, not wanting to frighten her. "Are you okay? Do you need help?" She looked at him with terrified eyes, then collapsed onto the ground. Daniel's heart raced. He rushed out, knelt beside her, and realized this girl had been badly beaten. Her lip was bleeding, her cheek swollen, and her whole body trembled as if she hadn't eaten or slept in days. He didn't think twice. He lifted her into his car and drove straight home, whispering reassurance, "You're safe now, I promise. Nobody's going to hurt you here." At home, Lily's eyes widened when she saw the stranger in her dad's arms. But instead of fear, she ran for the first aid kit and a blanket, as if she understood the girl needed kindness more than questions. They laid the girl on the couch, covered her with a warm blanket, and gave her water. She drank like she hadn't had a sip in hours. For a while, she wouldn't speak, only stared at the ground as tears slipped silently down her cheeks. Daniel didn't push. He knew what it meant to need space. He had felt it after his wife's passing years ago, when silence was the only thing he could bear. Finally, late into the night, when Lily had fallen asleep and the house was quiet, the girl's broken voice whispered something Daniel would never forget. "I didn't run away because I was bad, I ran because my own parents did this to me." Daniel froze. The words cut through him like a blade. He had assumed she was hurt by strangers, maybe some cruel kids in town. But to know her own family had beaten her, it made his chest ache. His eyes filled with tears before he could stop them. He thought of Lily sleeping in the next room, her world built on love and trust. The thought of a parent raising their hand against their child broke something inside him. Daniel wiped his face and leaned closer, his voice trembling but steady. "You're not alone anymore. You'll never have to go back there, I promise." She looked at him as if trying to measure whether his words could be trusted, and then, for the first time, she nodded slowly, almost like a child who had been waiting her whole life to hear that. The next morning, Daniel called the authorities, and with his support, the girl was taken under protective care. But she kept visiting Daniel and Lily, spending weekends at their house, slowly regaining her smile. Lily would braid her hair, and Daniel would make jokes until they both laughed over dinner. The bruises faded, but the scars inside took longer. Still, every time she stepped through their door, she seemed lighter, as though a new chapter was being written in her life. Daniel never forgot the night she whispered the truth to him. It became a reminder of why kindness matters most, especially when someone is at their breaking point. In saving her, he had also shown Lily what it meant to stand up for others, to be the kind of person who doesn't turn away from pain. And though Daniel had thought he was rescuing a stranger, in time he realized she had brought something into their lives too, a lesson that even in the darkest moments, love can still grow and heal. The story of that night spread quietly in the community, inspiring others to look out for the vulnerable. And for Daniel, every time he looked at Lily and the girl they had helped, he knew that sometimes family isn't just who you're born to, it's who chooses to hold you when the world turns its back. That truth, whispered in his living room, had made him cry once. But now, it gave him hope.